Welcome to the Missionaries Podcast. Stories from the mission field to learn and enjoy. Your hosts for today are Martin and Esther.
And welcome everybody to this new podcast. The topic for today is dating on the mission field.
Ooh.
I know. Everybody has to start giggling and stuff like that as soon as you talk about stuff like this. If you're on the mission field, and if you go with a missionary organization, one of the rules could be, and that rule is in a lot of missionary organizations, that you're not allowed to date in the first year when you're on the mission field.
Yep.
I've got a very small music clip for Esther. Let's see if she recognizes what it is. Do you know what it is? Any idea? It 1977 through 86.
Okay, I was 7 years old then.
Here comes the title.
Love
The
Boat.
Love Boat. I know.
Yes, we've heard from that.
Good old times. Good old times.
Now everyone knows how old you are
Thank you, honey. I love you too.
and how young I still am.
That sounds better.
I'm from after that period.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the Love Boat.
No, about dating.
Yeah, about dating. Yeah, I know. Okay, so there is a rule in a lot of mission organizations that you're not allowed to start dating in year number 1.
Yeah. And often there's rules for if you want to start dating in year 2. There's also rules, right?
Yeah, then you first have to ask permission from the leaders team.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they allow you to go on a date, you should bring a chaperone with you. So 3 people at least.
Mm-hmm.
And that all sounds very awkward. I thought it was very awkward on my first mission trips.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not explain why the rule was there.
No.
And that didn't help.
No.
They just gave the rule, you're not allowed to date.
That's my experience as well. Here you have to sign this.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah, you have to sign it.
Yeah.
There was no explanation, no words. You had to read it and sign it. And
The consequences can also be very hefty.
definitely.
People, there are mission organizations that do say, as soon as we find out that you're dating in year 1 and or you're dating without permission, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And they will book a flight ticket for you. So you're literally done the same day.
Yeah.
So the consequences can be pretty
Big.
be pretty big. And if this is the first time that you hear about this, we get it. It's quite shocking. But we would like to talk about why the rules are there.
Yeah.
It's the same as the rules from the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
God does not give us rules to bully us. God gives us rules to protect us from ourselves.
Yeah.
He knows how we are.
He does.
Knows what we really, really, really are, even before we know who we are.
Yeah.
And he wants to protect us from ourselves. He wants to protect other people from us.
Yeah.
He wants to protect us from other people. And those rules are not there to bully you.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we do not understand why he makes those rules, it's harder to keep the rules.
Yeah. Well, for us it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're human.
Yeah, we're Dutch and we don't like rules anyway.
No, and we will always find a way around it.
Yeah.
And that's... I mean, we're human. Everybody on the mission field is human. We all screw up. And God gave us rules so that we don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that we can stay holy for his glory.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you go to the mission field, you've got a mission, you've got a vision, you've got a purpose why you're going to the country where you're going to the culture where you're going to. You God called you to do something there.
Yeah, there's a Bible verse, Matthew 6:33. But seek first his kingdom and its righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Your first goal on the mission field is to live holy for God and do what God did ask you to do. Go into the world, make disciples, baptize, yada, 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 as the Bible verse says. That should be your first goal.
Mm-hmm.
God gave you a mission. God gave you a mission to do, and that
Yeah.
should be your very, very, very first thing to do.
Well, that's your focus. And to be able to do that, you have to get used to the culture. You've got to know the culture better where you're living in, the language and so on, how you do life there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a part of the task that lies before you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go into the mission field, the first year will probably be tough. Even if you don't think it's tough, believe me, sooner or later you will understand it was actually tough, although I didn't understand that it was.
Yeah.
The first year, you're in a complete different environment.
Yeah.
You're with people from a completely other culture,
Yeah.
in a country that's also another culture,
Mm-hmm.
in an organization that has another culture.
Yeah.
So you've got at least 4 cultures mixed with each other in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
And although it's fun to do, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It is great. It does cost you energy.
Yeah.
And if you want to be focused on God and focused on your mission goal, you want to keep as much energy as you can to do what God asks you to do. And well, figuring out who you are, what the cult, that's already more than enough.
Yeah, I think it's good to zoom in on that process where you go through in the first year to understand better what we are saying. So, like, you, from the culture where you come from, you know the culture by heart, but you don't realize that you know it.
Yeah.
It's like so normal, so obvious, so like unconsciously done. So when you move to another country, suddenly everything has different origins, different rules, different meanings. So your whole life, what you thought was normal, suddenly is not normal, because you are in a new country where people say things are normal, but for you they are not.
No.
So your whole life, your whole thinking is like
It's shaken.
I'm doing a shaker with my hand looking
Yeah.
for the word. So it's been shaking all upside down.
Yeah.
And through each other, and you have to figure out in this, especially in this first year, what is this culture? What do they think? And how do I fit in? And how do I adjust myself to fit in this culture? So you're figuring out, who am I in this new place? And another part, what you're going through, is you left behind your social network. So all your friends, your family,
They're gone.
they are somewhere else. And they try to understand what you're going through, but unless they have done the same thing, they will never really understand what happens with you at that moment. So it might be a very lonely place.
Yeah.
But then there is this international team probably that you have, where people going through the exact same thing as you are.
Yeah.
And that is a big help. Only the bad thing that can happen there is because you go through the same struggles, you feel a connection in a deeper way, and you translate that as love.
Yeah.
And that's where this rule kicks in. Go through this process and then see what's left over. We
Yeah.
have a word in the Netherlands. It's like victim love.
Victim of love.
Yeah.
And it's an official term. you're in the same boat, you struggle with the same stuff, and the people who are around you are struggling with exactly the same, and you will feel some sort of connection, which is good, but that does not mean it's love.
Mm-hmm.
It only means that you do understand each other, that you've got some, well, you're on the same platform,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean you're on the same love boat.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. And you see it happening a lot in mental health care.
Yeah.
People who are in therapy groups, all of a sudden they do think that they love each other.
Yeah.
Well, they're on the same boat, but that doesn't mean it's the same love boat.
Mm-hmm.
And the same stuff does happen in missionary organizations.
Yeah, and another thing, like you are figuring out who you are in this new country, in this new team, in this new job, in this job for God. And as soon as you are struggling with your identity, that must be a very big warning sign not to enter any romantic relationship. Because
Well-
how can you build a relationship with someone else if you're not sure who you are?
And the other person that you're seeing is struggling with the same.
Probably, yeah.
So you probably are still struggling, although you might not know it, with who am I in this new different culture?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? And the other person is struggling, although he or she might not know it, with the very same problem. So then we've got two people who are struggling with who am I? You put them in the same room, and if you start a relationship on that foundation, woof, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, very tough.
You will change in the first year a lot.
Yeah,
the
well,
other person will change a lot as well.
When you both go through this struggle, the struggle is what brings you together.
Yeah.
So what happens when this struggle's finished and is not more there?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and after a year, you're not the same person anymore.
Yeah,
And the other person is also not the same person anymore.
yeah,
But we are already in a relationship together. So hang on what? So we
and
started.
then we feel obliged to make it work.
Yeah, since God brought us together and all sorts of stuff. I heard that a lot.
Yeah,
And I saw a lot of bad stuff happening through that. I saw, well, all of a sudden, person A was gone. And we were like, where did person A go? Well, he had a relationship with person B. So, well, the rule is you've got to go. So we sent him back home. And all of a sudden, he was gone.
yeah. That's not
Um,
good for a team.
The other person was left or was also gone, or they both ran off together. I saw unplanned
Pregnancies.
yeah, all sorts of stuff. And from a human perspective, I get it. We
Yeah.
all wear the crazy sunny sunglasses, and the world looks pink and unicorns.
Well, when you're in love, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is human from a human perspective. I get it, but it's not good if you're on the mission field. God sent you there for a reason. God sent you there to do mission work,
Exactly.
and it's not a dating website.
Yeah.
It is not.
And that's a very important thing too. You came to this country with a reason.
Yeah,
So when you are going through all this stuff, it's already hard to work on this mission that you got from God.
it's tough enough as it is.
Yeah. And then when you find yourself in a relationship, all the attention goes there. So what is left of your mission? And
That's
what
gonna
is
be a tough
left of
one.
your focus on God and God's work?
Yeah, and if you what you will see if people are not focused on God anymore and their first focus is a relationship, what are you going to write to in your prayer letters?
Mm-hmm.
Since you were not focused on God and the mission work, but on another person. And you're not allowed to talk about that since you're not allowed to date anyway.
Yeah.
So your prayer letters will be very twisted. Let alone if your mission organization figures out, hey, they're dating, then what are you going to write in your prayer letter? They sent me back home, dear brothers and sisters? Or, well, I found a girl and we've got good news. We're gonna be parents in 7 months. Then what? So I get it why missionary organizations do have rules like that.
Yeah.
But I would love them to say, maybe very blunt, hey, this is the reason why we do that.
Yeah.
We
It's
do
to
not...
protect you,
Yeah.
to prevent these situations from happening.
It's to prevent you in your relationship to God. You should live a holy life for God. Is to protect your other team members so that they don't stumble. It's to protect your missionary organization. What is your missionary organization gonna say when a person gets pregnant? And you won't be the first one. Believe me, it does
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
What is the mission organization gonna say? I mean, so we're preaching on the street that we should live a holy life, and then all of a sudden one of the team members is gone for woof. You can preach whatever you want, but then you're done. You might
Yeah.
as well just pack your bags as a missionary organization. You're so done.
Yeah.
So it's to protect you, it's to protect your team members, it's to protect your home team, it's to protect your home church, it's to protect your missionary organization. Just don't do it. And it's not to bully you.
No, and I'm also thinking right now, like if the organization would explain this, so
Yeah.
why do we have this rule? The door is also open that when you struggle with kind feelings like this,
Yeah.
to come and go to your team leader and say like, I'm struggling here.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't do it, but it's
Yeah.
happening,
Yeah.
and I don't know
Now
what
what
to
do
do
I do?
with it. Yeah, what help me?
Yeah. And I mean,
But if you do not talk about it, then
Yeah, doesn't
it's
get any better.
very hard to take this step
yeah,
because it's very, very vulnerable. You feel lonely, probably in the mission field, especially the first year.
oh, yeah.
Like I was in a culture, the first half year, no one started talking to me. And I didn't understand. I worked my ass off.
Yeah. I mean,
And they
yeah,
didn't talk to me. Only after half a year, they started saying something back.
Yeah.
And they said to me, explained later when we became friends, like, yeah, but like, we don't know who you are. So we watched you for half a year to see what you say is what you do and what you do is what you say. And after half a year, we're like, okay, yeah, she's okay.
Yeah.
So that's when, but for me, it was nightmare.
It is tough.
It
The
was
lonely-
half a year of nothing.
We had a podcast a while ago. You might want to look it up about loneliness on the mission field. And
Yeah.
loneliness on the mission field is a big thing.
It is.
And that's the other topic that we should be aware of that. Get it out in the open. Dating on the mission field, get it out in the open. Talk about it.
Yeah.
If we would talk about it more and don't giggle about it, but just have a normal conversation. Stuff happens. We're all human.
Yeah, or it's the forbidden topic.
Yeah. And we're not going to talk about sex. God forbid.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, just talk about it. Go to your team leader. Hey, this is happening. I mean, I'm struggling with it. Do you have advice?
Yeah.
And it could be that he says, hey, we've got 4 mission teams in this country. Why don't we send you off to another mission team? So at least you're not in the same mission team, but you'll be
Yeah.
going to city A and the other person is going to city B. Write each other, give each other phone calls, whatever you want. We'll give you permission for that. But let's make sure that we don't mess stuff up in the first year
Yeah.
more than we already did.
Yeah.
There are more options than sending you off home.
Yeah.
And the sooner you talk with your pastor, elder,
Team leader.
team leader, whatever, the better it is.
Yeah.
And it's just as I said, it's not bullying you. It's trying to protect you. You're there. God sent you to the mission field for His glory, and that's the reason that you're there. I found a
Yeah.
verse in Proverbs 4:23.
Yeah.
Watch over your heart with all diligence, For from it flows the spring of life. God knows your heart. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And God also wants to have an open conversation with you.
Mhm.
Hey, what's going on? God wants to help you, but you should at least be open to God. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that and you're not open about it, and or as a leader, maybe you're listening in and you're in the leaders team, you're one of the elders. Be more open about it.
Yeah.
Be more. It's a normal topic. Come
Yeah.
on, and please do share the stories. What does happen if we do not follow these rules? If the Bible is full of stories where the Bible says the rule is A, but the people did not listen, and then what happened?
Yeah.
Why don't we do the same?
Mhm.
We've got a story for you, and it's an example. It's a pretty bad example, but this example will help you to stay holy. Instead of we just don't talk about it, here's a piece of paper, just sign it, or we're only going to do a session in 5 minutes about it, giggle a lot.
Mhm.
It just doesn't work. Be open about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and as well, I'm thinking about like if you are interested in going into missions and you're in the age that hormones are going all the way, really think
Yeah.
because this should not be an issue before you go. You should have peace with God providing the husband or the wife that you
Yeah.
want or need.
It's God's problem if you meet somebody or not.
Yeah, and he knows you so much better than yourself, and
If-
so
if
he
you're-
knows better
yeah.
what you need, also in a partner.
Yeah, if you're actively searching for a partner, if you're
Yeah.
if you're actively are eager to meet another partner,
Yeah, and you do not feel complete without a partner.
yeah, don't go to the mission field.
No.
The mission field is not a dating website.
No.
The mission field is there to serve God. That should be your first priority.
Yeah.
And if there are other priorities, we're all human, it happens. Just wait.
Yeah.
Figure out the topic on dating relationships before you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, that might mean that you've got to wait for a year. So
yeah,
what?
but also make an appointment with God, if you want to say it like that. Like, okay, I trust you in providing what I need. I trust you in giving me or not giving me at this moment because you know me so much better. So I'm letting this topic go. And I focus on the things that are ahead of me.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult to do.
It's a tough one. I mean,
yeah.
I messed up on my first mission trips.
Well,
big
yeah,
time.
the loneliness can be very, I mean, not
loneliness
even
was
in the
huge.
mission field, even in life.
Yeah,
In normal life, loneliness can be so big that you
Yeah.
try to fill it up with other people.
but the consequences were also huge.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
one thing
don't
that we
forget that.
we often forget. I mean, the consequences that I experienced were huge.
Yeah.
As in neon letters, huge. If only a person would have said, hey, listen, these are the rules, and let me explain you why we've got the rules and what does happen if we do not keep the rules and what will happen to you if you don't. Then it would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But no, it was a giggling session for 5 minutes. The topic was over. Please sign the dotted line, and we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Woof, with a lot of consequences.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm the biggest sinner in the room, probably. But let it be an example for you. Please be holy. You're on the mission field for God, not for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And for the leader team, for the elders, be more open to your team members.
Yeah.
Hey, we know that stuff does happen. Let's talk. The whole dating thing was never... Well, we only had an introduction for 5 minutes with a lot of giggling. And after that, it was never, ever a topic anymore.
Yeah, unless someone made a mistake.
Unless somebody screwed up.
Yeah.
But that was not even a topic.
No.
They
then
were
it
just
was-
gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was not out in the open what did happen. Well, yeah, they started dating, and well, the rule is that he should go, so he's gone. Please
And-
tell
yeah.
the whole story.
Yeah.
You're not sending somebody home because he's dating. No, you're sending somebody home because of the consequences of that whole dating thing.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the consequences that you saw that you don't want to spread out like an oil spill all over your
yeah. over your work,
organization,
yeah.
over your work, on your relation with
Reputation.
God.
Yeah.
Talk about the consequences. And
Yeah.
we saw the consequences. The consequences were not good. So yeah, sadly, person A is not here anymore. And let it be an example.
Yeah.
Make it a topic in every... You've got your evaluation moments every once in a whatever. Make it a topic.
Yeah, and as well talk about loneliness.
Talk about loneliness. Hey, how are you doing? Do you feel lonely? Okay, what does happen with you? What are your thoughts on that? Hey, how's dating going? Although you might think that the person is not dating, just ask them the question. Hey, how's the dating going? If the person turns red, well, at least you know you've got a topic.
Uh-huh.
And let's just talk about it. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
And the sooner it's out in the open, especially on loneliness, on dating, on relationships, the better it is.
Yeah.
Make it a topic every month, maybe. Talk about it, so that it becomes a normal topic instead of a "Did you hear that?" And we're not going to talk about it. It's that's not good.
Yeah.
God is very upfront on topic like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so should we, I guess.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
that's,
take time, because if it's really from God, it can wait.
in all honesty, I mean, if you think that God gave you person A or B in your life, no matter what does happen, that relationship will
Will
hold.
be, yeah.
So even if you are going to another mission team for a year, if God sent you the other person, the relationship will stay.
Mm-hmm.
If you are afraid that God is not powerful enough, that that relationship will stay, if you're in another team, do you really think that God is not that powerful enough? Or are you leaning on your own knowledge, on your own feelings? That's a bad sign.
Interesting one, huh? Yeah.
That's a bad sign if you think that you have to keep the relationship up and going.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to God. So if you really trust God, trust God. And I know it's hard. It is
Yeah.
tough. And chances are, well, you probably fail. But if you do, please talk about it. It's
Yeah.
a normal topic. And for the elders, talk about it. Let it be a normal topic. And don't wait until you found out that person A or B was pregnant and now we're all done for.
Mm-hmm.
That's too late. And yes, you can blame you can blame your team members that they did that, but
Yeah.
I think you should also blame yourself. How is it possible that you didn't see it?
Yeah.
How was your relationship with your team members that you didn't see it? You probably didn't have a relationship with your team members, since if you had a good relationship with them, you knew that they were dating. You would feel it, you would see it,
Yeah.
but you weren't there. So, yeah, the easy way out is blame it on a team member that he or she had a relationship. But for you as an elder,
Yeah.
how is it possible that you didn't know? Maybe you should step down as a team leader since you weren't a team leader. Woof, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
But no, very often we just send away the team members instead of looking in the mirror. What should I have done that this wouldn't happen?
Yeah. Or what can I do differently next time?
Yeah.
What have I missed? Yeah.
What did I miss?
Yeah.
And it's one thing that we miss signals like that, but at least let it be a lesson for the next one,
Mm-hmm.
instead of taking the easy way out, send the team member off. Oh, you sinner. Well, if you were there for your team member, maybe he or she wouldn't have stumbled. And that's
Yeah.
And I know it's a tough message. You probably don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. I know.
Yeah.
But, well, too bad for you. You're a team leader, so be a leader.
Yeah.
Don't be a follower.
Take the responsibility.
Take your responsibility. You're the elder. You're the team leader. Do it. And help your team members.
Yeah. And team member also, you have to take your responsibility.
Take your
too.
responsibility. If stuff does happen, go to your team leader. Hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Get it out in the open. It will help you a lot.
Yeah.
And that's about it for today. Or do you have something else to add, Esther?
Well, it's not only when it happened, before it happens, when you feel like I'm
sooner the
struggling
better.
with this, when you struggle, go and talk to someone.
As soon as you see one butterfly flying, go for it. And well, with that, we end our podcast with a butterfly. Oh man, hope to talk to you soon. And please do like, subscribe, follow, or whatever.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about our work, please visit emmy.foundation. And remember the last words Jesus gave to you all, as we can read in Matthew 28 verse 20b, and surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. No matter what happens, no matter how good or bad your days go, Jesus is with you. You can trust his promise, no matter what.